guys, Stevie Doll with Homefront Harmony. Welcome back. Welcome back. I love doing these episodes where I meet new people and I get to have new friends, but every once in a while I get to do an episode where I actually know the people and they are friends and I'm excited to have them. So today, fangirling, former Blue Angel, friend of mine, amazing speaker, current commercial pilot, and his beautiful wife, my friends, Scott and Lisa Kartvedt, are joining us today. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi, Stevie. Hi, everybody out there. Thanks for joining in. Happy to have you. Can't wait to spend some time with you today.
I love it, love it, love it. So we very rarely get to do the sit down with the spouse included. And I really wanted to do this because y'all's experience and career is a little different than others have had to it. So we're going to kind of go all the way from the beginning and take it and lead it where we go, because you guys met in college.
We did.
Yes.
Okay.
At Pepperdine University.
Pepperdine University.
Yeah,
okay.
freshman
And
year.
you were studying for
Business.
Okay. And you were studying
We were both
for
accountant, but we had a lot of the same courses.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So not a Navy pilot when we started.
No,
no.
full-blown CPA. Yeah.
Yeah.
Accountant in Century City, California. Saw Top Gun too many times, Stevie.
There you go. You know what? I love that so much. And we will get back to that because there is a circle to it. But I remember Top Gun. I loved it. It was one of my favorites. And it was one of the reasons I actually considered joining the Navy. Part was my dad's service. Part was just the intrigue of the great movie it was. So, so now you ended up deciding to pursue a career as a Navy pilot because of Top Gun.
Well, it actually started in high school.
Okay.
And so my best friend and I saw Top Gun in the movie theaters back in May of '86.
Okay.
A bunch of times. And we told all of our friends, we're going to be fighter pilots. And then he went to San Diego State. I went to Pepperdine. And he called his senior year in college and said, I'm doing it. I'm going to Air Force pilot training. And I said, okay, I'll do it too. And called the Navy recruiter. Lisa and I were dating at that time.
Okay.
And so it was a big shift, right? She was dating an accountant.
That
With
is so funny.
KPMG Barwick.
So when he told you he was pursuing it, what were your thoughts?
You know what? Some of it is being young and dumb. And you're like, yeah, that sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was, he went to the LA recruiter and then he went to AOCS, which was in Pensacola, Florida. And I thought it was fantastic.
Outstanding.
Yeah, but I did not come from a military family, so it was very unknown and just an exciting adventure.
Very cool. Very
But this
new.
is a really interesting point, Stevie.
Yeah.
So she was unaware, super supportive. We have two boys.
Okay.
Lisa and the boys are the academics in our family. I am the academic rock, but I tell them I have a PhD from the School of Hard Knocks.
There you go.
So Lisa was not only supportive, I mean, she supported the studying because I had to prepare for all of the tests and the entrance exams. And so she kind of drove all of that to help get me in, which was incredible. So from the beginning.
Well, and that's one of the things we talk about a lot with the spouses, because it is a burden, a job, whatever you want to call it. The spouse there is being to support so that their service member can focus on what they need to focus on, to do what they need to do and handle the home front, and deal with that. So you were already doing it prior to getting the ring.
Yeah, well, yes, unbeknownst to me, that is what I was doing.
There you go. I love it. I love it. I love it. So now you became a fighter pilot, and then you guys got engaged and married. And
No, tell them from your side.
So Scott he was a commissioned officer.
Okay.
So he had gone through AOCS, which doesn't even exist anymore. Now it's just officer candidate school, but he was a commissioned officer. And then we got engaged a couple months later.
Yeah. So November of 91 is when I was commissioned, and Lisa came down, and we had been dating for several years at that point. 2 years.
2 years.
2 years. And I had started primary flight school.
Okay.
And so in March of 1992, so halfway through primary, I knew that I was going to ask her to marry me, and she was moving apartments in Los Angeles. So I went out under the guise of helping her move, knowing that I was going to ask her.
Oh.
Yeah. And then we got married. So we got engaged in March. We got married in July. And then,
because we had to. There was nothing that was.
He's like, let's preface it. I was a good boy.
But then I moved with Scott as a newly married couple to Kingsville, Texas, where he was in now at that point, and the training was in jet flight school, for lack of a better.
Yeah, intermediate jet training. So
jet
we
training.
selected strike fighters, went out to LA, got married, and then our honeymoon was I-10, driving from Los Angeles all the way to Kingsville, Texas.
Okay, so funny irony, I'll always pull this in. So my parents got married. My dad was in Vietnam. He did 2 tours of Vietnam a year each time.
Yeah.
When he came back, he met her, fell in love with her, asked her to marry him. Her parents, my grandpa said, just wait, give him something to come home to. He came back. He said, marry me this weekend. That's why they were married October 17th in 1970, over 50 years together before we lost him. They got married in Arizona. They had a honeymoon at Mountain Shadows Resort, and then they drove to Virginia to a station together. So very similar. And my mom said their song was We've Only Just Begun. And when they first started the road trip, every time I was on the radio, they're like, oh, and by the time they got to Virginia, they needed a break from that song.
I think it's probably a story for most of the listeners, right?
Yeah.
Because military folks will get married, whether it's for the insurance, for the increase in BAH, because there's a financial incentive or increase in pay. So I think that's fairly common. We did it because we had to get married in July because it was the only time that I knew I had a break.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I had a 7 to 10 day break.
Well, that's still work. That's
married.
still true. You got to make it work. I remember the Max. They got married on the 15th because it was payday, so they could afford to get married.
Right.
So. All right. So now one of the rules we have on the show is if you throw out acronyms, you have to make sure to tell everybody what the acronym is because some people know and some people don't. So BAH.
Basic allowance for housing.
Okay. And you were saying AOC.
Aviation Officer Candidate School.
Good. Learn quick. I like it.
If you saw the movie Officer and a Gentleman, that was Aviation Officer Candidate School.
There you go. Look at that connection there.
But it doesn't exist anymore, I don't think.
It doesn't.
It's just the straight.
Everybody goes to Newport, Rhode Island for officer candidate school. And then those that are going into aviation will go to Pensacola for aviation indoctrination.
Okay. So now you ended up being a fighter pilot.
Yep.
Yes. Did you get into Top Gun?
I didn't apply to Top Gun. And so here's
the movie inspired you.
Yeah, so it's interesting, and this will be for the listeners, right? You become a fighter pilot, you do your operational tour, and then you get into production as an instructor pilot. And so that's what Lisa and I did. We did our operational tour in Japan for 3 years, where our oldest son, Wyatt, was born.
Okay.
And then we went back as instructors and worked with the Marine Corps out of El Toro, California, just to really date ourselves.
Okay.
Most people don't even know there was a base in Orange County.
Right.
We were there for a year, and then we moved it to Miramar. And then at that point in a naval aviation career as a strike fighter pilot, you can go to Top Gun, you can go to test pilot school, or you can go to the Blue Angels. Those are kind of the 3 tracks.
Okay.
And so we had wanted to apply to the Blues. I say we. I don't know that I ever
Scott
actually
wanted
asked.
to apply for the Blues.
He's asking now.
I don't recall this conversation, but
as I said it, I realized
You were asleep. It was fine.
I never talked about it, so she was supportive of it for sure. And so that's the path that we took.
Okay.
Was to apply to the Blues and pursue that dream.
Okay. So hang on, because we're going to talk a lot about the Blues because it's me. But okay. So what did you fly mostly before you went for the Blues?
All F-18s. My entire naval aviation career was what they call legacy F-18. So the variant was F-18A through D.
Oh my gosh. Those are like my favorite planes.
It's a great airplane.
Of all time.
Phenomenal.
Those are my favorite jets. We had Rob Novotny Blender on our show, who was commander at Nellis, worked with the Thunderbirds. And we were talking about all the different planes and everything and, you know, what he flew because he was a fighter pilot as well. And I was saying that like, those are my babies, you know.
So both of our boys are F-18 pilots, but they're flying the Echo and the Foxtrot variant. So when they retired the airplanes that I flew, they were first to text me and let me know that the legacy F-18 had been retired.
Oh, now, so Wyatt and
Nick,
thank you for your service, Wyatt. We appreciate you. And I understand you both are getting married this year. Congratulations. And tell your wives thank you for being heroes on the home front. All right. So you decide you've done the instructor. Where in Japan were you guys?
At Tsugi.
Okay.
Which was just south of Tokyo, but north of Yokosuka. So the air wing was there. The ship was out of Yokosuka.
Okay.
Near Yokota, which is an Air Force base. So it was all kind of in that southern Tokyo
We were,
region.
I think, Yokohama. I always get it wrong. I think
Yokota. Yokota was a big Air Force.
We weren't Okinawa.
Okinawa.
But we were stationed there. We were just there for 1 year. because of family things, we had to come back. It was not our favorite station to be at because my dad's mom was sick and
you're a long way away.
He was gone to sea the whole time, except once he came home one trip. But that was the coolest thing ever because like it was just a different experience. Everywhere else we stayed, Australia, stuff like that. Like we were South Pacific people. My parents, if there was a beach, they wanted to be there, kind of thing. So yeah. So I just always ask because it's interesting where people have stayed. But you talked about aging yourself. The base we were stationed at Exmouth, Australia, was shut down when I was like 15, 16 years old, and I was like, we were just there.
Right.
Well, Atsugi, where we were in Japan, is no longer.
Yeah.
All the air wings now out at Iwakuni.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's really crazy how it changes and it's like a part of your life that stopped. Okay. Weird. But all right. So you went for the Blue Angel.
Yep.
I love, my friend. And you got it.
I did. Well, on the second try. So we had applied in 98.
Okay.
We made it to finalist week.
Okay.
Did not get selected that year.
Oh, no, Lisa.
And
what did you do? No, just kidding.
And then reapplied in 99.
Okay.
And made it to finalist week and got picked up that year. So, which is, I don't want to say it's common, but it's more common for kind of a 2-year track.
Okay.
It's changed a little bit. It has to do with the flight time requirements and how long it takes to get it. But the vetting is less about the flying and more about the interpersonal relationships and the ability to learn from each other and accelerate your performance at such a rate that you can fly for the team.
And there was other people that their second year.
Oh yeah.
When you
Chicken Bone was second year. Yeah. So it's still very common. And it's not an excuse to make it a second year. I'm just historically
you're
that's
cool.
what happened.
You're
right?
cool. So when you get into the Blue Angels, you are a specific number.
That's not entirely true. So the way that it works is you're selected to the team. You spend about 6 weeks traveling with the team. They call you a khaki newbie. So you're in your khaki uniform, not any blue suit. You're not allowed to wear the blue suit until the end of season show.
Okay.
Anyhow, and then about 4 weeks into it, they do a number selection. And so the new team members are not in that meeting. The previous team members figure out where the new team members will go. I happen to be selected for number 7.
Okay.
The 2 other new pilots that were selected, the Marine went to number 2. That's Hunter Hobson, and Kevin Colling went to the number 3 position.
Okay.
So what may be interesting to your listeners is there are 3 new pilots on the team every year out of the 6. So the turnover rate is significant.
Okay.
But that's only because the Navy just views it as a job and a tour of duty.
Okay.
And so you keep moving. But
what are the terms on it? You got 3 years.
I got 3 years. So number 7 will do 3 years on the team.
Okay.
And the other 2 pilots will do 2 years.
Okay.
So every pilot selected gets 2 years as a demonstration pilot.
Okay.
So number 7, I was the narrator, VIP pilot, and
see, he already was a badass. Okay. And 7's a lucky number. So even better. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay. So now we're gonna go into some fun stuff. When he became a Blue Angel, how did it change for you as a spouse?
Well, when he became one, I was just so happy for him and elated for, reaching that goal. And then once again, what were we, 30?
Yeah, 30.
Yeah, 31-ish.
Okay.
So a little bit young and dumb still. So we showed up in Pensacola in September of 99.
Okay.
And it was fantastic. There were great women that were already there to welcome us new members of the community in. Okay. And so we all lived on NAS Pensacola. Those of us with kids and all the other wives who had children, their children were the similar age as our kids. So we were definitely our own community, and they were fantastic women, all of them.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, when you got married and joined Scott in his service, did you continue to pursue a career, or did you focus on the military spouse supporting them?
So in Kingsville, I actually worked for the Kingsville Chamber of Commerce, and there was a gentleman who ran the chamber and the Economic Development Council by the name of Dick Messbarger, and he was such a fan of the military overall that he had a soft spot for military spouses. And so he always hired military spouses. And so myself and another friend of ours, Tammy Carvalho, we were Navy wife number 27 and 28. And I don't know how many he ultimately employed.
I think it was into at least 3 digits.
Yeah. So he was like, he went out of his way to hire military spouses. So that was great. And then when we had children, I was happy to be a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Okay. There you go. I love it. Love it. Love it.
We moved 14 times in 21 years.
Okay.
And so, it was very fast paced. And so every time we moved, like many military spouses, right, they got to start a new job.
Yep.
And they may or may not start towards the bottom.
Right.
And so when we moved to Japan, Lisa said, yeah, no, I'll be a stay-at-home mom. I'm not going to start over. The job opportunities in Japan. And honest to God, the best decision.
I was fortunate that that we were able to do that.
Exceptionally fortunate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know that with my mom, they planned until I was a certain age. And then she had worked in dental as a dental assistant for years. And I think in Japan, she actually helped teach English.
I did that in Japan.
Yeah.
Before Wyatt was born.
But then eventually it got to a point where she ended up going back a little earlier than they planned. But, yeah. Pay isn't always that great in some places and you got to afford to live. So you do what you can do. So it was, and he was enlisted.
Well, and I'm sure with the spouses currently, I'm sure there's remote I think more spouses probably work. There's probably more dual income
with the remote
work. Like there's more opportunities because that didn't exist.
It's improving. It's still got a long way to go.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I will say, ironically, that COVID, the pandemic, helped because all of a sudden companies realized remote was more of a possibility than it had been before because they were forced to work that way. And so that has opened up the doors, at least from my experience in the staffing world where I'm at. It's still at 24% unemployment rate for military spouses.
Yeah, no, it's super high.
Yeah,
there's some more opportunities out there, which is great.
There are. What we focus on is educating the clients to the value that a military spouse can bring in. I mean, you want dedication, you want loyalty, you want somebody you can handle a lot and is flexible. A military spouse is going to be what you're looking for because they tend to roll with the punches better than most. So. I mean, I watched my mom, the OG,
flexible and adaptable.
Yeah, pretty much. So you get on the Blue Angels. You move to Florida. Mm-hmm. Such a hard place by the beach to live. Gee, my goodness, Pensacola. And you're flying with it, and you're doing narration for them, and you're Mr. VIP.
Well, the number 7 years actually. You're a little bit of a rogue agent.
Okay.
Because number 7 is the executor of air shows. So I would leave every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. To go to the show site where the team would show up on Thursdays. And
you were the advanced
I was
party.
the advance man and the execution of the weekend.
Okay.
So number 8 plans it all. Number 7 executes it.
Okay.
And so that was tough. I mean, we had 2 kids. 3 and 1.
Oh, wow. They were babies. Oh, my goodness.
Little guys. And I was gone 5 days a week, every single week from March from January. Right?
January through November.
January through November. I mean, I was only home on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Oh, my goodness.
And so talk about going, here you go, Lisa, right? Create the Homefront Harmony and make it all work because I was gone.
But I have to say
that reference.
Yeah. But I wasn't alone. It was a team that would leave. So I had good friends who had children the same age. So I was by no means isolated or alone. We were all in it together. Well,
and I talk about all the time the military community, how amazing it is and how united it can be. And if you want to advertise, you don't need to pay money. You tell a military spouse and they'll tell everybody else if they like the company or whatever, it will get around because you do. You have conversations and I love that. And to this day, someone finds out I'm the daughter of a Navy man. I get an instant family. It doesn't matter the branch they served.
Right.
And I love that. I think that's so cool that still goes on. It's one of my favorite things. So you do your 3 years, Blue Angels. How close are the planes? You were explaining this to my husband.
Well, so 7 year was 2000. Okay. And then I was selected to be number 6. In 2001, and then subsequently 6 fleets up to number 5. So the 2 years that I flew were 2001 and 2002.
Okay.
As a solo pilot, an opposing solo pilot. So But when we're in delta formation, the proximity that we will fly is, we can get metal to metal, no kidding, 12 to 18 inches. That's not where we start the season, but at the end of the season and some of the maneuvers, that's how close we can get. So
and what's the delta formation? The
delta formation is a 6 ship. So the diamond formation is 1 through 4. The 2 solo pilots are 5 and 6.
Okay.
And then the delta, we join into delta formation at the end for the final 4 or 5 maneuvers.
Okay. Did you do this straight up with
all of that stuff? Yeah.
Fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you were explaining to my husband, I thought this was fascinating, so I have to have you talk about it here, about the knowing how far you are based on the numbers, the words painted on the side.
Yeah, so we fly what we call paint. And so on the side of the airplane, it'll say Boeing FA-18 Hornet. Each one of those letters is 2 inches by 2 inches. And then there's certain bolts or rivets around the airplane that are painted yellow. You can't see it with the naked eye, but when you're this close and the wing is here, you might put this rivet on the O in Boeing, and that's the set. If it moves to the B or the E, you're out of position. And so you would turn your smoke off to identify that you were out of position so that when you're reviewing the tape, you can determine what had caused that out of position, whether it was a pull mismatch or a roll mismatch. But the tolerances are micro tolerances. That's how the Blues fly as close as they do.
So you're flying this massive, amazing jet. You're watching to make sure that the bolts and the letters are lining up right. You're controlling smoke to come out back when it's supposed to come out, so everybody knows what you're doing. A normal day in the office, huh?
And it all comes together through our winter training, January through March when we're out in El Centro.
Okay.
And so we don't start this close. We start, 10, 15 feet apart. And as the season moves on, because we're debriefing, it continually gets closer and closer and closer and closer. And that comes with the trust and confidence and respect. So I talked about the team and being able to spend time together and learn together.
Yeah.
That's where they're selective in their selection so that they can grow together with trust and respect.
And then you guys have I can't think of the word and it's driving me insane because I studied this and I wanted to do this, but you have a baseline of how close you can get to the ground.
Well, it depends on the maneuver.
Okay.
And so you can get as close as you need to. Number 6 is wavered down to, with a chief naval operation wavered down to 6 feet, which is the low transition, high performance climb, the initial maneuver. When you take off, you actually raise the gear and the airplane settles, and that's what you hold in the ground effect and then pitch. So that's the lowest maneuver. And then all of the maneuvers could go down to 20, 30 feet, but we do it at 200. And this will be entertaining for you all because we're trying to recruit young men and women.
Yeah.
And young men and women that are there with their parents in the crowd. If you're at 20 or 30 feet, all they're looking at is their parents or other adults' backs or buttocks.
Gotcha.
And so we want it up for the visual parallax so that everybody can see it.
Okay. Got you. And you've flown all that.
Oh, yeah.
Done all that.
Yeah.
Done all that.
Yeah.
Is it nerve-wracking when you're watching them do the?
No, because you just have trust in the training. I mean, they're in El Centro from beginning of January till middle of March, and they're flying 2 to 3 times a day. Yeah. So you have complete trust and confidence in the training that they do. I mean, is it dangerous? Of course,
right?
Yep. So, but that's. I do have trust and confidence. As a spouse, it was easier to have trust and confidence in the training. And I still do, but as a mother with both of my sons now doing there is a difference of way your heart reacts when it's your spouse and then when it's your children.
Yeah.
So that has been fascinating as being a Navy mom now. I was a Navy wife, but now I'm a proud Navy mom, and it's different when you're like, well, where's my child? What are they doing? It's just different.
It's very different.
Yeah. Totally. And I have enough knowledge to make me dangerous, as opposed to being that mother that maybe didn't have military exposure.
Fair enough.
And I was wait a second.
So
I was your age when you were.
Here's 2 quick stories from the spouse and parental standpoint. The spouse one is funny. So I'm on the Blues, and we get offered to do great things often when we're on the road. And so we got the chance to drive NASCARs with Richard Petty NASCAR driving experience. And we didn't do it, but we didn't do it.
Okay.
And so the boss at the time, Pat Driscoll, had said, no way, we're not doing that. It's too dangerous.
Smartly so.
Yeah. So I went home and told Lisa, and I was, we had a chance to drive NASCAR. We can't drive NASCAR, and the boss is going to let us do it. And she's like, oh, thank God, it'd be so dangerous. And I said, you have no idea what I do at work, do you? You have no idea.
Sometimes young and dumb is a very beautiful pair of shoes to wear.
Yeah. And then, but her point was that we didn't train, right? We weren't drivers, we were pilots. And then the second one, fast forward 30 years, our oldest son is going to the aircraft carrier to qualify on the aircraft carrier in an F-18 for the first time. I am a mess. Can't sleep, tossing and turning, agitated. And Lisa said, what's wrong with you? And I said, well, Wyatt's going out to the ship.
Yeah.
And that's super dangerous. And she said, you did it for 20 years. And I said, yeah, but that was me.
Right.
Yeah.
I said, I know how dangerous it is.
Yeah.
And I'm losing sleep. And she said, welcome to the other side.
Right. Yeah. Well, and we talked about you said you've landed on ships how many times in a jet?
658.
Just a couple.
Yeah.
Just a couple. Is taking off from a ship versus taking off from a normal runway, which is your preference? Like better?
Well, one, they're different experiences, right? I mean, the Navy prides itself on carrier aviation, which most people think that the landing is the most harrowing. It is harrowing. Night landing is... it's a unique experience that not many of our citizens get to do. But the catapult off of the ship is the most dangerous, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because you're in a jet, and 300 feet later, you're going to be airborne, and it's like getting shot out of a gun.
Okay.
And so when you go off the end of the ship, you don't know if you're an airplane or a refrigerator because you don't know if you have the end speed.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And so you go from 0 to 150, and I'll say, hope that the wings grab into the air, and there's things that can go wrong that you don't have a lot of control over. In the landing, you've been flying and you are controlling it.
Okay.
So not to say it's any less intense, but you're in an airplane and you're going to land on a ship.
Okay. It makes sense to me. My favorite part of flying has always been the takeoff. And when I was a kid, commercial airlines took off, they were going. Yeah. And now only certain airports and airlines will take off like that because of, air noise laws and everything.
Yeah. Well, most of that is the engines to spare the engines.
Yeah. But when you gun it, man, I'm like, yeah. Landing was always like, it's fine. We're going to land. And it was funny because my dad used to be like, sometimes landing can be just as dangerous as the takeoff. I'm like, really? Oh, I didn't even think of that. Now I travel enough and I'm on planes enough that I'm like, I could see certain places when I'm landing in them. I'm like, oh yeah, this one took a little extra effort to just kind of maneuver in, So, but it's fascinating. So now you do your term with the Angels, and then how long after the Angels did you stay in the military before the Navy before you decided to retire?
We left the Blues in 2002 in November. Okay. And I was in shock and awe in April of 2003. Okay. So I went from Blues to war in 4 months. Okay. But we come from the fleet, we return to the fleet. Right. And that's where we wanted to be. I was on the team when September 11th happened. And so now it was time to go fight. And as an operator, that's what you want to do. So, gotcha. I got dropped off at the airport, went over, joined the USS Eisenhower. Okay. No, Roosevelt.
TR. Yeah, you're on the TR.
The Roosevelt.
Such a military spouse, remember? Yeah. Girl, I love that. She's like, I was in the Eisenhower. My mom could probably do some of that too. Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Out to the Roosevelt in 2003. So here's another funny story. Okay. Lisa's so good. We're driving through San Diego on I-5, and there's an aircraft carrier over there, and it's CV-62. Okay. And we're driving, remember this?
I do.
We're driving down the road, and I said, CV-62. I wonder which one that is. And she said, "Hey, dumbass, that's the Independence. You were on it for 2 years."
I love it. Good job, Lisa. Look at you.
Hope nobody is offended by the profanity, but
we've cussed sometimes on this show.
Yeah.
I called you a badass earlier. They're fine. You're all fine. It's fine. Everybody's okay. So then how many times did you end up actually flying?
We did. I did 5 combat tours.
Okay.
3 of them to Iraq in 96, 03, and 05. And then commanded an F-18 squadron in Afghanistan in 2009 and 10.
And that was the Eisenhower.
So the Independence was the first tour. The Roosevelt was 2003 and 5 in Iraq. And then Afghanistan was the Eisenhower in 9 and 10.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, it was that. That was a very busy time, too.
Super busy.
Yeah, the Eisenhower was 2 back-to-back deployments. So we did 6 months. We were home for
3-ish.
And then went right back out on deployment with the whole team. So you want to talk about taking care of your unit and the family members. That, as the leader, that we had to make sure that not only our sailors were ready to go back to battle, but that the families were ready to go back to battle too. And so Lisa, as the commanding officer's wife, was instrumental in all of that.
Which it's a burden, but then an honor and a privilege at the same time when you get to be the one to do. There were times when my mom kind of just took the lead with certain things. It was just natural because people, we're protectors kind of naturally in my family.
I was super fortunate on our experience or our journey, I should say, up until that point. I had really great examples and mentors to be like, awesome. Oh, I really liked how Barb did this or how Carol did that. Like I was very, very fortunate throughout our whole career to have good people that I got to look up to.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
good examples.
Wonderful. And now from the perspective, because one of the discussions we constantly have on this show is we talk about the mental health aspect. And because it affects everybody. I mean, I've said it 1,000 times. When I was very young, I knew my dad might not come home because he believed in the country so much. I didn't think he was going to die, but I knew it was a possibility,
no
one thinks that.
Right. If you do not do that. Please stop. But so for you, when you know he's going into that high risk, so I mean, this is so different from flying really closely strategic, in the Blue Angels to actually flying in an area where there's fire, shots fired. And
yes, for sure. There is a difference. But once again, for me personally, it was trust in the training, trust in the strategic planning, trust in every single man and woman that is involved in every mission. It's not just one person, it's an entire team. And I personally did not dwell on the what ifs.
Gotcha.
And some spouses may, but collectively as a group, that is not where our conversations went. It was much more positive. What's happening with your kids? We just didn't dwell on the what ifs.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
that's how I was able, I don't know if that's compartmentalization, but it was just trust in the entire team, which was ultimately the whole team. In Scott's case was the 5,000 men and women that were on board those aircraft carriers, each doing an integral part to make sure that team could accomplish the mission of the day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that my dad was a guy of positive thoughts, and my mother embraced that, and I've embraced that. And it joked about it when I was younger, understand now the thought process better with things, but that's half of the reason everything he went through, he was able to work through a different way than other people who kind of tend to focus on the negative, and it's like, it's easier to work through things if you've got that positive outlook to it. You're looking for the better you wake up every day, you have the chance to choose the day to be joyful, or you have the chance to just choose the day to be bad. So, the decision you make is kind of where you go. And I think that one of the reasons it's good to talk about too, especially, is that it's okay if you didn't feel positive that day. It's okay if something was frustrated, but there are people you can talk to. And I love that you had mentors, because I talk about mentors.
Yeah. And you just have to realize none of us were alone on the journey.
Right.
And your good day could be my bad day. And maybe I need to lean on you.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, the interesting thing about the spouse too, right? The service member is the one that raises their hand and signs up. But when Lisa was home, she was in a command of the family members, right? And so we had 250 people in the command, and they would call because they had a financial challenge or maybe a check didn't come through, any myriad of challenges.
or as simple as like, my car battery's dead. I don't know what to do. Like that can be like something as simple as that can derail your whole day. As silly as it sounds, but just be like, oh my gosh, But you add those tools to your tool belt, and then as you go further down the path, you're like, oh, car battery, that's easy. I know how to do that.
Yeah.
But the first time it happens, you're just like, oh my gosh.
But Lisa could also drive into additional resources, right, to help within the spouses and partner network. But if it was something that was more extreme, go direct them to Fleet and Family Service Center, which is a Navy support element that can help. But the burden that we put on the family members that are left at home, and we all serve together. I raised my right hand officially, right, but she and the
served
boys
right by
were
your
right
side.
there the whole time. And it was our service; it wasn't my.
And the military at large has tons of resources.
Oh yeah,
they have,
do.
But sometimes the spouses may not know where those resources are or how to access them, and they do truly try their best to offer those resources, and they are out there for military families to include, and even veterans as you transition out. There are lots of resources.
Yeah, absolutely. There's more now than there was when my dad got out,
of course.
And we keep evolving and growing. Could there always be more? We could get better at everything we do, but it's nice to see that there's been progressively positive changes that have stepped up to help.
Because they want you to have success. Ultimately, they want you to have success.
And what's funny is, so my husband calls my mom techie. And my mom's like, I don't know why I'm techie. But when my dad was out to sea, the buck stopped with her. So my mother would handle stuff. Well, now she can just Google it or YouTube it, which is far easier than back when I was a kid. You had to figure it out kind of thing. And so that's why my husband thinks she's techie, because she'll Google it or whatever. And she'll be like, oh, well, then I can fix that. That's fine. Now, my mom's going to be 75 in July. She doesn't look it. She doesn't act it. But the woman is techie. She just fixes stuff, because she had to.
Yes.
It had to be done. So you just do it. And if you need help, you reach out, and and it was the niceness of the close-knit military community that you lived around. And I'm certain places we were on base, so it was even tighter in that area. But, it's nice to see that you have that available to you. But the resources are huge, and the making sure people know what's available and how to get in contact with them is the biggest part, because it can be overwhelming if you don't know who you need to go to for whatever assistance you need. So now, when did you decide, okay, I've done my service, I'm ready to retire?
Oh gosh, we were down in Fort Walton Beach, Niceville, Florida. We had moved a bunch, and when you'd ask the kids where they were from, they didn't have an answer. And so there was no rooting for them. And so I had done everything that I wanted to do in the Navy, and we were exceptionally fortunate. The only thing that I would have liked to have done was maybe be a strike group commander, where you have the whole battle group and take them over the horizon. But the kids and the family had sacrificed a ton. And so as Lisa and I talked about roots and what's best for the family, we thought that it was time to get out. And then what's interesting about that, when we sat them down at our kitchen table to tell them, I thought that this is arrogance, that they were going to be like, no, Dad, you're a fighter pilot. And the first thing Nick, our youngest, said was, so we can get a dog now? Because I always told him that we can't have an animal. Move. And I very distinctly, Lisa was sitting on my left, the boys were sitting over here, and yes, we can get a dog.
Yeah.
And we did.
There you go. Yeah. Done.
And we got Thor.
And we got Thor, and he was amazing.
That's funny. And what I love is that the we talk, because I know that my parents had a conversation with my dad. So my dad got out. My dad could have probably gone 30 years, but he got out partly because he thought my sister and I wanted him to. My sister was not a fan of the moving. I loved it. I thought it was great. But so they talked about it, made the decision, and that's when he decided to retire. And I think that's a key thing, because sometimes I think a misconception is that the service member is the one who just decides. But when you're in a unit, like, as a couple can be, if it is that true partnership, having that discussion, making sure where to step forward, it's key, because it changes your life just as much as it changes his.
Yeah.
So did you have a plan of what you were going to do when you transitioned out of service?
Oh, gosh. Ish. I mean, I had a couple of commands. I was comfortable in leadership. But I had a lot of friends that were in the airlines. So
the airlines was a very natural.
Yeah, right, just from the skill set. But I enjoyed the leadership piece. And I was in the F-35 program, explosive growth in that program. So Lockheed Martin was interested in me, but we didn't really want to live in Fort Worth, where the plant was. We wanted to live in Colorado Springs. There was another entity, aircraft OEM company, wanted me to be their president in Florida. And Lisa had said, yeah, that sounds great. Have fun in Florida. And I knew that wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to be a family and get the kids through high school. And
we had been stationed in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
And so that wasn't just a random pin dot on a map. And we both had stayed in contact with just friends I had met in Colorado Springs. And so we were there for a very short time. I think we only lived there for 14 months.
Short.
But we liked it.
Okay.
And so, and because of the friends I had still kept in contact with, our oldest was going to be a junior in high school, and Nick was going to start high school. And so we went back to Colorado Springs and to the general area that we had lived before. Okay. But when we moved there as a newly retired from the military, we already had some friends. Nice. And even our kids were like reintegrating with friends they had known in elementary school.
Oh, fun.
That were, longtime residents of Colorado Springs. They were re-meeting them in high school. So it was, for the most part, it was pretty... There were still some bumps in the road, but it was relatively smooth. And we were welcomed into that community that was not a military community. Right. I mean, Colorado Springs is a military community. Our friends were not military that we had there, but they welcomed us with open arms. And we've been there for 13 years now.
We had a network. We had the relationships, the friendships, which is so important. I mean, which is the hardest part of getting out, actually.
That transition.
Institutionalized. That transition is brutal.
Yeah.
For at least a year. Many people make it through, some struggle with it.
Yeah.
And it can be hard. But then we ended up, I had the opportunity to go to the airlines or take an executive type of route. And I hope that all of your listeners have some type of personal board of directors. Okay. So I called people that I trusted to give me sound advice and had proven that through my life. And to a person, they all said, go to the airlines because it will free you up to do the other things that you do.
Okay.
And I haven't looked back.
Yeah, United. He flies for United. Shout out to the Friendly Skies, but they've been very good to our family. Remarkable company.
Outstanding. That's awesome. Now,
covered now with lines increasing, tickets torn in half.